Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron channel. I'm Steve Shaw. In this video, I'm going to share a secret. In the last 20 years, I've helped a lot of lifters build a lot of muscle and strength, and they all have one problem in common. They don't know which program to run. They all come to me confused about programs. Either they find one on the internet and it's just not working or doesn't feel right, or they piece something together themselves and it kind of feels like the Millennium Falcon being held together by duct tape. So what is the solution? So I want you guys to understand that changing programs isn't going to fix your muscle building. And building your own program isn't going to fix your muscle building. There's nothing wrong with doing either inherently, but changing the program or building a program or switching the program isn't going to fix the inherent problem that exists right now that is leading to frustration. You are not building muscle, you are not building strength, and it is not the fault of the program. One thing I teach on this channel is that any reasonable program will help you go from point A to point B. So whatever program you're using right now, if it seems reasonable, if it has a reasonable degree of volume and a reasonable exercise selection and a reasonable progression approach, everything is just reasonable and it seems reasonably constructed. Any reasonable program should be helping you build muscle. But here's the problem. You're not building muscle. You're not building strength. So what is the issue? It's at this point where most lifters just change programs. They jump to another program. You know how it goes. It's called program hopping, and it's extremely prevalent in the muscle and strength building world. Somebody hops on a reasonable program. They're not building muscle and strength. They get frustrated. They go to the internet. They find a new program. They hop to that program, and they repeat this process over and over and over again and never see good quality results. Now, one of the things I teach is evolving training based on needs. I have something called the Massive Iron Pillars of Success. You can find them on my book, Massive Omnibus, which is linked down below. And also in my book, Massive Iron, which I released over 10 years ago. Evolving training based on needs. I want you to remember this concept. So instead of jumping to a program, if you have a reasonable program and it's not working, we need to analyze the variables that you don't like or analyze the things that are broken and learn to evolve variables or change variables rather than look for magic programs. So when you find a program you like, but you hit the gym and something isn't working, you just don't like something about the program, remember this. We're going to focus on evolving the variables you don't like rather than just jumping from program to program to program and endlessly repeating this cycle of doom. So here's some things to think about. You have a program, either you built it or you found it on the internet, and you don't like an exercise, you don't like a specific variation, maybe it calls for Pendlay rows, you can switch that, you can evolve that, you can switch to Yates rows or barbell rows. Perhaps you don't like squats, maybe you could switch to front squats or maybe just leg press or pendulum squats. If there's an exercise in the program you don't care for, don't just change programs, evolve the program to include the exercise you enjoy. Another one you see is rep ranges. Someone might not like a specific rep range for an exercise. Maybe you have a program that calls for 12 reps on pull-ups and you like to do a little bit heavier, maybe more weighted pull-ups with 8 reps. Instead of leaving the program, which is what we commonly do, I want you to evolve your rep range. Maybe move it down to 8, maybe add a little bit of weight. Pendlay rows is a really good example for me. I hate Pendlay rows when I get up to the 10 or 12 rep range. Now, if somebody was like me, they might just change the program because the program advocates 10 or 12 reps for this exercise. Instead, what I do a lot of times is move it down to 6 rep sets, sometimes 8 rep sets. If you don't like the number of reps per set, instead of changing programs, focus on evolving the rep range or changing the rep range. As long as the rep range is reasonable, you are perfectly fine. All right, another aspect you could evolve is the set count or number of sets per exercise. If you go into the gym and the training program is just running way too long, and you find things like deadlifts or Romanian deadlifts or squats or any unilateral exercise like dumbbell rows are simply taking way too long, you might be tempted just to set the program aside. Hey, this program doesn't feel right. It's way too long. Instead, focus on evolving the training, evolving the number of sets. I'm going to move deadlifts down from 3 to 2. I'm going to move Romanian deadlifts down from 3 to 2. I'm going to move dumbbell rows maybe down to 2 sets. These are just simply examples. If something is eating up a lot of your time or energy, or you simply don't like the set total for a specific exercise, don't hesitate to change it. The important thing to remember when it comes to programming is that the weekly volume per body part is more important than the number of sets for each exercise. Some people do panic that they need to do more sets for squats or more sets for deadlifts or more sets for Romanian deadlifts or things that are posterior lifts. This is far from the truth. Don't hesitate to evolve your program so you enjoy it. All right, so another common issue is the specific protocols in a workout. A workout might feature drop sets or supersets or rest pause or any number of unique protocols that really define the workout. Now you might say, hey, I jumped over to this workout because it has this superset or this drop set, and it's kind of the defining aspect of this program. You know what? You have the complete freedom to change it. If you don't like this training tool, if you don't like this approach, but you like the overall structure of a workout, don't hesitate to change or leave behind this protocol and stay with the current program. Now, another big one is the progression approach. Every exercise needs a progression approach or a progression indicator to tell you when to add weight. If you're not adding weight, you are detached from progressive overload. And progressive overload is the engine that drives muscle building. You must have a progression indicator or a progression approach for every exercise. If you don't like the progression approach for that specific exercise, change it. It does not matter. Evolve it to something you do like. Maybe it has you changing weight on every set. You can go over to straight sets. Maybe it has straight sets and you don't like that. You could hop over to one of my protocols like the threes protocol or DDP. Don't hesitate to evolve that progression approach. As long as you have a progression approach, you're absolutely fine. Now, one other thing to think about is when it comes to the program structure, it might have 3 days, it might have 4 days, it might have 5 days, and something just isn't feeling right for you. Maybe you can't fit it into your schedule. Don't hesitate to evolve the program, add in extra rest days, move things around a little bit, change the structure slightly so it fits your schedule. What I have found out in the last 20 years is that a lot of people need a more flexible schedule when it comes to training. So don't hesitate to move the pieces around the board a little bit so you can continue to do the workout, rest when you need to rest, and not feel pressure to stick to some arbitrary schedule. As long as your rest days make sense and you're not training, say, triceps before chest or back before biceps days, you will be perfectly fine. And finally, let's talk about volume allocation. If you're in the gym, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier, and 3 sets of deadlifts is too much, or 3 sets of squats is too much, then reduce the volume. On the other hand, if you're in the gym and you feel like you're not getting enough back work or shoulder work or quad work, and maybe you want to add in another exercise, that's fine. Or maybe change leg press from 3 sets to 4 sets, that's fine. You have the freedom to change your volume as long as you have a progression indicator. Now, if you guys need help with this or you need a custom workout, check out the link down below. My custom workout service is only $39. It is one of my most popular services. I send you a bunch of questions and I build you something that isn't cookie cutter, that is based on your equipment, your injury history, your exercise preferences, and your goals. So the final take-home point here is simple. Many people are confused by which program to run. Which program is best for me? Which is it this program? Should I build my own? Instead of thinking about which program is best, I want you to choose one that excites you and use it as a challenge. Go into the gym and find out what you like, what you don't like, and focus on evolving training or evolving the variables rather than just program hopping. If you look at the program of an advanced lifter, they have done just this. They started at point A, and 10 years later, they're at point B. Completely different, completely unique, and super personalized to their preferences. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.